Hello, my dear friends. We are seeing the Indian Contract Act 1872. Till now, we have covered in the last class section 50 to 55 of your performance of contract. So, in today's lecture, we will move ahead with the section number 56. So, let us see. See here, section 56. What it tells about? It tells about the agreements to do impossible acts. Okay, when one person enter into an agreement to do what? Impossible acts. What is its consequences? See, agreement to do an act impossible in itself. Impossible in itself means what? It is impossible at the initial stage itself. Then such kind of agreements are what? Void. Void means what? They are unenforceable by law. Right? See the second case. Subsequently becoming impossible or unlawful. At the time of making contract, the agreement is proper, the act is proper, but later on subsequently it becomes what? Impossible or unlawful. In that case, such kind of contracts becomes void when they becomes impossible or unlawful. Right? Third one is what? In case of the impossibility is known to the promiser and it is not known to the promisee. In that case, compensation for non-performance of the act known to the known to be impossible. The promiser has to compensate the promisee because promiser already knows that the act cannot be performed. It is impossible. Whereas promisee does not know that the act cannot be possible to perform. In that case, promiser has to pay to the promisee. Right? So let us see some of the example for all these things. Then you will understand it more clearly. See here, illustrations. First one. A agrees with B to discover treasure by magic. Right? This is what? This is a void agreement. At the initial stage itself, it is impossible. Right? So it is a void agreement. A and B contract to marry each other. It is a valid contract, but before the time fixed for the marriage, A goes mad. A mad person cannot enter into a contract, right? We have seen the capacity to contract. The contract becomes void, right? It was a valid contract. Afterwards, subsequently, there was some events. Because of that, the contract becomes void. We can call it subsequent impossibility of performance, right? Next one you see. A contract to marry B being already married to C. In this case, A is already married to C. He cannot go for second marriage and being forbidden by the law to which he is subject to practice. Right? In this case, A cannot marry B because he is already married to C. This fact is known to Mr. A but not to Mr. B. Who is the Mr. A? Mr. A is the promiser, Mr. B is the promisee. Mr. A already knows the impossibility of performance, but Mr. B does not know that it is impossible to perform. In that case, A must make compensation to B for the loss caused to her by the non-performance of the promise. Right? Clear? This is the third case. See one more example. A contracts to take in cargo for B at a foreign port. A's government afterwards declares war against the country in which the port is situated. It is a subsequent event, right? Subsequently, there was a war declared by the government. In that case, such contract becomes what? Void. The contract becomes void when war is declared, right? Last example. A contracts to act at a theatre for 6 months in consideration of a sum paid in advance by B. This is a valid contract, but on several occasions A is too ill to act. It is what? Subsequent impossibility the contract to act on these occasions becomes what? Void. Clear? Clear with these examples? Fine. So shall we move ahead? See. Next is what? What is given in the act, we will read it once. Agreement to do impossible act, section 56. An agreement to do an act impossible in itself is what? Void. This we have already seen. Next, what they are telling, agreement, a contract to do an act afterwards become impossible or unlawful. A contract to do an act which after the contract is made becomes impossible or by reason of some events which the promiser could not prevent, unlawful, becomes void when the act becomes what? Impossible or unlawful. Last point was what? Compensation for loss through non-performance of the act known to be impossible or unlawful. Where one person has promised to do something which he knew or with a reasonable diligence might have known and which the promisee did not know to be impossible or unlawful. Such promiser must make compensation to such promisee for any loss which such person promise sustains through the non-performance of the promise. All these three things we have seen. Initial impossibility, void. Subsequent event, impossible or unlawful, void. And in case promiser knows that it is impossible, promisee does not know that it is impossible, then promiser has to compensate to the promisee for the loss caused to him. Right? This is given in the section what? Section number 56. So shall we move ahead? Next section we got section number 57. See, section number 57. Reciprocal promise to do certain things that are legal and also some other things that are illegal. That is given under section 57. Reciprocal promises. One part is what? Legal and another part is what? Illegal. See what happens in that case. Where persons reciprocally promises firstly to do certain things which are legal and secondly under the specified circumstances to do certain other things which are illegal. The first set of promises is a contract, second set is a void agreement, right? Whatever is the legal part, it is a contract, and whatever is the second part which is illegal will be a void agreement. Let us see one example for this. A agrees A and B agrees that A shall sell B a house for rupees 10,000, but that if B uses it for gambling house, he shall pay how much? 50,000 rupees for it. Right? Firstly, they have entered into a contract saying what? I will sell the house for rupees 10,000. And then A told what? If B uses it for a gambling house, gambling is what? Illegal. Right? If you uses it for that, you have to pay me 50,000. In that case, the first set of reciprocal promise, namely to sell the house and to pay 10,000 rupees for it, it is a contract. Whereas the second set is for an unlawful object, namely that B may use the house as a gambling house and is a void agreement. Clear? So, in a same contract, there is some part is legal and some part is illegal. Legal part is enforceable, it is a contract. Illegal part is unenforceable, it is a void agreement. Next one comes section number 58. It contains what? Alternative promise, one branch being illegal. Okay. There we have seen what? It is a contract containing legal and illegal part. Section 57. It is the same contract. There are alternative promises. See, in the case of an alternative promise, one branch of which is legal and the other is illegal, the legal branch alone can be enforced. There are two branches, that is alternative promises. One promise is legal and another promise is illegal. In that case, only legal promise can be enforced. See, for example, A and B agreed that A shall pay rupees 1000, for which B shall afterwards deliver A either rice or smuggled opium. There are two promises. He will either give rice or either give smuggled opium. They are what? Alternative promises. We call them alternative promise. Right? Giving rice is a valid, smuggled opium is illegal. This is a valid contract to deliver rice and a void agreement to deliver what? Smuggled opium. Simple it is. Right? So that is given under section 58. So today's lecture we have seen what? Section number 56. Agreement to do what? Impossible acts. Then section number 57. A part of the contract is what? Illegal. Section number 58. What? Alternative promise. Part of it is what? Illegal. Right? So revise these sections properly. In the next class, we will see the further sections.